My child, I need to speak to you at this very moment. Not because the sky is about to fall, nor because you have done something that caused me to turn away, but because a moment is passing through your life, and if your heart continues to be pulled in every direction, you may pass through it without realizing how near I have been. Let the noise outside recede for a while. Do not rush to search for answers in your phone, in the words of others, or in the predictions that have kept you awake at night. There is a word that must be placed precisely into the most exhausted place within you, and I do not want it to be buried beneath fear, busyness, or questions that do not yet have names. You asked me to speak. There were nights when you could only sigh without forming any words. Yet I understood even what you could not express. Today I am not answering you with a vague sign. I am calling directly into the part of you that you have tried to keep hidden. Because what is about to unfold within you must begin with your hearing this clearly. I have never left the house of your life, even though some of its rooms have remained dark for far too long. You have looked at closed doors and assumed that the silence behind them was proof that I was no longer working. You have stood in the hallway of your own life, holding unresolved things in your arms, staring toward a place from which no answer came, and wondering whether I had forgotten the key. But you did not know that there are doors I do not open through force. I strengthen the hinges, repair the foundation, clear the room beyond them, and place the right person, the right timing, and the right words into position before I place the handle in your hand. What you call delay is sometimes quiet preparation. What you call absence is sometimes the season in which I am doing my deepest work. I have not abandoned you before a war. I am protecting you from entering a place that is not yet ready to hold what you carry. And even now, a door has begun to move. Not loudly or dramatically, but enough for light to pass through a crack where you once saw only darkness. I know you are tired of promises that sound beautiful, but have not yet touched reality. You do not need another sentence that lifts your emotions off for a few minutes only to leave you carrying the same burden afterward. That is why I do not speak to you as someone standing far away and looking down. I speak as the one who has walked through every room where you cried, every place where you sat in silence, so that no one would know you were about to break. And every morning when you still rose, even though something within you no longer wanted to begin again. I saw how you said you were fine so that others would not worry. I saw you check a message again and again, replay a sentence in your mind, blame yourself for believing, and then blame yourself again because you could not stop hoping. I saw you trying to work, trying to care for everyone, and trying to maintain the rhythm of an ordinary life while a part of you kept asking, when will it finally be my turn to have peace? I do not dismiss that question. I do not condemn you for being weary. But I have come to keep you from turning a difficult season into the final definition of your life. There is a difference between being in one dark room and believing that the entire house has lost its light. For many days, you have confused these two things. A power failure in one area does not mean every wire has been cut. A closed window does not mean the dawn has been cancelled. One person leaving does not mean love has left the world. One broken plan does not mean your future has been taken from you. I am correcting the way you interpret signs. You have seen delay as rejection, silence as abandonment, and exhaustion as failure. But I see someone who is still standing, still praying even when the prayer has become no more than a breath, and still choosing not to hurt others even while carrying pain. You think you are weak because you have not moved quickly. I see strength in the fact that you have not given up. You think you have lost your way. I see you being led along a longer road so that you may avoid a place that was never meant for you. At this very moment, I am placing peace around your mind like strong walls surrounding a house. I am not doing this so that you can hide from life, but so that you can see clearly without fear distorting everything before you. There is news you have not yet received. There are decisions others have not yet spoken aloud. There are matters that remain unresolved. But your safety is not determined by a phone call, an outcome, a door, or a person who is hesitating. You belong to me before anyone chose you, and you still belong to me even when the person you have been waiting for does not know how to value what stands before them. We are now at the heart of this message, and I want to pause here and say something directly. This ministry was built to find the beloved ones at the exact moment they need to hear that the fire they walked through was not punishment, but preparation, and to speak that truth clearly enough that hope returns before the next step. And it continues because of the partnership of people who received something real here and chose to be part of what carries it forward. If today this message has been reaching the places it was always sent for, support this mission through the link in the pinned comment and in the description below. Give what your spirit confirms. The link is right there. Listen carefully. You are not standing outside in the middle of a storm without shelter. I have covered your life with a presence your eyes cannot measure. Some things were stopped before they reached your door. Some poisonous words lost their power before they found a place in your heart. Some plans that appeared capable of bringing you down were redirected in places you could not see. I know this is difficult to hear while your heart is still attached. You have held on to an old key even though the lock was changed long ago. You still try that key in doors that once rejected you. Not because you lack wisdom, but because you want to believe that this time things might be different. I understand that desire. I do not mock the part of you that still hopes. But hope does not mean returning to every place, merely because it once called your name. Love does not require you to remain forever outside a door that is never opened from within. Loyalty does not mean continually giving power to what drains you. If this is landing somewhere deep in you right now, take a moment to like this video and subscribe, so this word can keep finding you when you need it. I am teaching you a new form of obedience, not running after what is familiar simply because it makes you feel less lonely for a moment. There are things I remove from your hands because they cannot cross the new threshold with you. If you continue holding them as proof that you were once needed, your hands will have no room to receive what I am bringing. What I am preparing is not merely an outward change. I will not simply alter your circumstances and allow you to enter them, carrying every old fear unchanged. I am repairing the house from within. I am touching the place where you have always waited for someone else to confirm that you have value. I am removing the nails of the past from the walls of your mind, where you hung every rejection as though it were an accurate portrait of who you are. I am opening windows in the part of you that has been suffocated by comparison, self-blame, and the feeling that you must constantly prove yourself. You do not need to make yourself smaller in order to remain in someone's life. You do not have to appear strong at every moment in order to be worthy of love. You do not need to become the most agreeable version of yourself in order to avoid abandonment. I did not create you to be a guest who must ask permission to sit in your own life. You are the one entrusted with caring for that house. And it is time for you to stop handing its keys to people who only know how to enter, create disorder, and then leave. You may have lived with tension for so long that peace now makes you feel uneasy. When nothing is happening, you begin to imagine that something bad is coming. When someone treats you kindly, you search for evidence that they will change. When an opportunity opens, you immediately think about how it might collapse. You call this being careful, but often it is only pain wearing armor. I do not blame you for learning how to defend yourself. There were seasons when you had to recognize danger quickly. There were times when your intuition helped you avoid further harm. But what once protected you in one season can become a wall that prevents you from receiving in the next. I am not asking you to abandon discernment. I am teaching you to distinguish discernment from panic. Discernment speaks slowly and clearly, and it does not make you lose yourself. Panic pressures you, exaggerates everything, and makes you react before the truth has time to appear. Therefore, this is what I need to tell you now. Do not make decisions from a room that is burning only in your imagination. Do not break down a door merely because you are afraid it may close. Do not run away from something good simply because it arrives more gently than what you have known before. Do not call peace boring merely because you became accustomed to relationships that kept your heart constantly racing. Something is approaching your life that does not carry the noise of chaos. It will not require you to exchange your dignity in order to keep it. It will not force you to wonder every day whether you are still being chosen. It will make room for your questions, respect your time, and refuse to use silence as punishment. I am not saying everything will be perfect. I am saying that what belongs to me does not require darkness in order to maintain its power. It can stand in the light. It can endure the truth. It can allow you to breathe. I am not asking you to take one enormous step in order to prove your faith. Sometimes a step of faith is simply getting a full night of sleep instead of staying awake to watch over something you cannot control. Sometimes it is choosing not to send another message to force an answer. Sometimes it is turning off the screen, leaving the room, drinking a glass of water, and allowing your body to understand that it no longer has to live in a state of alarm. Sometimes it is saying no without writing a long defense of your decision. Sometimes it is receiving help without feeling indebted. Sometimes it is returning to the small task you left unfinished, because the future is not built only through great moments. Its foundation is laid through quiet choices for which no one applauds. I am present in those small things. I am not present only at miraculous doors. I am in every brick you put back into place. Every morning when you refuse to abandon yourself. And every time you choose the truth instead of a story written by fear. I am watering places you cannot see. I am softening the parts of you that disappointment has made hard. I am bringing necessary things closer together, according to an order you cannot force. Some people must mature. Some truths must be revealed. Some habits within you must change so that when what you have prayed for arrives, you do not unintentionally destroy it through old defenses. This mission of carrying these sacred warnings and revelations to the beloved ones who need to receive divine protection takes real investment to sustain. Behind every word here is prayer, preparation, and the faithful partnership of people who received something real and chose to carry it forward. If this message reached you at exactly the right moment, consider supporting this mission through the link in the pinned comment and in the description below. You can give as little as the cost of 1 cup of coffee. That seed goes directly into the work that found you today. The link is there when your spirit says yes. A deeper foundation must be laid because a great gift cannot stand on ground that has been leveled only by temporary emotion. I am not delaying in order to hurt you. I build slowly in places that are meant to endure. I do not want to give you a beautiful room whose walls cannot withstand the first rain. I want what comes to you to have a place where it can remain, and that requires more than circumstances being ready. It also requires readiness within you, the ability to receive without panicking, the ability to preserve peace without creating chaos, and the ability to accept love without constantly testing whether it is going to leave. There is a part of you that has grown accustomed to rescuing yourself. You predict in advance, prepare in advance, carry burdens in advance, apologize in advance, and leave in advance. You believe that if you act before the pain arrives, you will not be caught by surprise. But living this way keeps you standing forever at the doorway, never truly entering the room. You can be in a good moment while your mind is still searching for an escape route. You can be loved while your heart is already preparing for the day you will be left behind. You can receive an opportunity while secretly planning for failure, so that disappointment will hurt less. I see this. I understand where it came from. But you cannot build a future with bricks taken from a house that has already collapsed. I am giving you new materials, truth, boundaries, patience, the ability to wait for consistent actions, and the courage not to over-explain what you already know is right. These things may appear less dramatic, but they are the foundation of the peace you have asked for. Listen as I speak to you about tomorrow. Tomorrow is not an empty room into which every terrible thing can rush. I am already there before you. I do not stand outside time and watch you struggle to manage everything alone. I go before you, straightening the paths you cannot yet see, placing light around the bend and closing roots that would pull you back toward what is old. This does not mean you will never encounter surprises. It means no surprise can cause me to lose control. You may receive news that makes your heart tremble, but you will not fall out of my hands. You may have to adjust a plan, but my purpose will not dissolve because of it. You may hear words that are not what you hoped for, but the final word about your value does not rest in another person's mouth. Let tonight be the night when you stop rehearsing disasters. Sleep is not carelessness. Sometimes sleep is an act of surrender. You close the door, turn off the light, and declare with your entire body that I am still working when you are no longer awake to control things. I am teaching you to protect the house without turning it into a fortress. A boundary is not a wall that buries love alive. It is a door with hinges and a lock, knowing when to open, when to close, and who may be allowed to enter more deeply. You once believed that in order to prove you had a good heart, you had to remain constantly available, endlessly understanding, and always willing to offer one more chance. But love does not require you to betray the truth. Mercy does not ask you to deny consequences. Patience does not mean waiting forever for someone who continually chooses what causes you pain. I want you to be gentle without being easy to manipulate, generous without forgetting yourself, and forgiving without returning to live in the same room that once suffocated you. This is the maturity you prayed for, even though when it arrives it may look like loss. Some people will call your boundaries cold because they were accustomed to you having no limits. Do not use their reaction to measure whether what I am teaching you is right. You are entering a season in which it is no longer appropriate to beg for fragments of what you were meant to receive in fullness. You have stood outside the door for too long, celebrating merely because someone opened it a crack. You learned to be grateful for the bare minimum, because you feared that asking for clarity would cause you to lose everything. But I am not leading you into arrogance. I am leading you out of a hunger that caused you to mistake anything offered to you for nourishment. When someone truly wants to be present, you do not have to continually decipher them. When an opportunity is truly aligned with you, it may require effort, but it will not demand that you abandon your conscience. When a door comes from me, it will not require you to become someone else in order to fit within its frame. It may stretch you into growth, but it will not make you disappear. It may challenge you, but it will not use chaos to rule over you. Remember these signs. You will need them because not everything that returns is something I am restoring. Something from the past may knock at your door when you begin to experience greater peace. It may come through a familiar voice, a delayed apology, an opportunity that resembles something you once prayed for, or a feeling of longing so powerful that you mistake it for confirmation. I am not telling you this to make you afraid. I am telling you so that you remain awake. Old things often return when they sense that they no longer control you. They do not always wear a frightening face. Sometimes they carry revised promises, a gentler attitude, or the exact words you waited a long time to hear. But do not judge change only by words spoken in a single moment. Look at the foundation. Look for consistency. Watch how that person responds when you ask questions, when you need time, and when you do not immediately open the door. What is genuine does not fear light. What has truly matured does not pressure you to forget the past before trust has been rebuilt. We are now at the heart of this message, and I want to pause here and say something directly. This ministry was built to find the beloved ones at the exact moment God is bringing a warning about a misaligned connection, and to deliver that revelation clearly so they can protect their peace and their path. And it continues because of the partnership of people who received something real here and chose to be part of what carries it forward. If today this message has been reaching the places it was always sent for, support this mission through the link in the pinned comment and in the description below. Give what your spirit confirms. The link is right there. Let this reach even deeper. I am not concerned only with whether you receive something good. I care about whether you become someone capable of keeping what is good without abandoning yourself. A gift cannot heal the habit of constant suspicion. A new door does not automatically erase the ways you once ran away. A kind person cannot complete the healing work that you must agree to enter. I will help you, but I will not force you to live differently while you continue clinging to every old pattern. You must participate in what I am building. You must choose rest when your body tells you it is tired. You must speak honestly when something makes you uneasy. You must stop calling self-betrayal sacrifice. You must learn to endure the empty space between releasing what is old and receiving what is new without rushing to fill it with just anyone. That empty space is not punishment. It is a room that has been cleared. Do not drag rotting furniture back inside, merely because the new room is temporarily empty. Now look back upon the road, not through the eyes of shame, but through the eyes of understanding. You did the best you knew how to do with the level of healing you possessed at the time. You stayed for a long time because you believed the promises. You forgave repeatedly because you wanted to love as I love. You remained silent because you had not yet learned how to protect your voice. You returned because loneliness made the old door look like home. I am not standing here to condemn the former version of you. I am leading that version of you out of the room. Thank them for surviving, but do not require them to continue leading your future. Someone who survived a storm does not have to build a permanent shelter inside the storm. You can learn without hating yourself. You can make corrections without denying the goodness that once caused you to give too much. You can mature without becoming hard. This is the work I am doing, keeping your heart soft while giving it a backbone. Take a deep breath. Place your hand upon the place within you that feels the most tense and allow yourself to be still. I am not rushing you. Although these words needed to reach you now, I am not pressuring you to act in panic. My urgency is not the same as fear's haste. I am calling you to pay attention because an inner decision is taking shape, and that decision will affect how you walk through the days ahead. I want you to move from peace, not from scarcity, from discernment, not obsession, from a value that has already been established, not from the need for someone else to prove it. Let the amen within your heart become more than a spoken response. Let it become your agreement for me to rearrange the house, to close the windows through which poisonous winds are still entering, repair the broken locks, reopen the rooms you believed could no longer be used, and return you to the position of one who is loved, rather than one who must constantly beg for love. But before I place the key to the opening door into your hand, you must confront the deepest barrier still standing in this hallway. The part of you that would rather return to familiar pain than step into something good that you do not yet know how to trust. That part of you is not as weak as you have believed. It was formed through the times when you stepped forward with open hands only to return holding yourself together. It learned that what is familiar, even when painful, is more predictable than something good that has not yet taken shape. It remembers the days when a promise made you believe, only for silence to make you question everything. It remembers standing before a door, hearing footsteps on the other side, but not knowing whether the person would open it to welcome you, or merely open it long enough to make you hope again. Therefore, whenever something good draws near, that part of you does not celebrate. It searches for an escape route. It asks what the price will be. It searches the past for evidence that the former ending will repeat itself. I understand why it does this. It once believed its purpose was to keep you alive. But now, what once sheltered you from the rain is preventing you from stepping outside, even though the sky has cleared. It works through choices so small that you assume they do not matter. It causes you to reread the messages of someone who once hurt you, not because you want to return, but because a part of you still hopes to find an explanation powerful enough to change the memory. It causes you to delay responding to a sincere opportunity because you fear appearing too eager. It causes you to hear a compliment and immediately diminish yourself so that no one will think you expect too much. It causes you to establish a boundary and then break it the moment someone appears disappointed. It causes you to test a new person through silence, distance, or questions for which you already have an expected answer, simply to see whether they will leave as the previous person did. And each time this happens, the door to the new season does not close because I changed my mind. It is merely obscured by old objects that you have unconsciously dragged back into the hallway. You need to see this without shame. Self-protection does not make you difficult to love. It reveals that you once lacked a place safe enough for you to be vulnerable. You had to learn how to read a room before entering it, study another person's expression before speaking honestly, and hide your needs before anyone could call them a burden. You became skilled at detecting slight changes in someone's tone, an unusual delay between two messages, or a look in their eyes that was different from the day before. That ability once helped you prepare for things others were not honest enough to say, but now it causes you to stand guard even when there is no intruder. It turns every sound into an alarm, every silence into rejection, and everything unclear into evidence that you are about to be abandoned. This mission of delivering these sacred words about divine crown restoration and alignment to the chosen ones who need to receive them takes real investment to sustain. Behind every word here is prayer, preparation, and the faithful partnership of people who received something real and chose to carry it forward. If this message has been confirming what your spirit has already been feeling, consider supporting this mission through the link in the pinned comment and in the description below. You can give as little as the cost of 1 cup of coffee. That seed goes directly into the work that found you today. The link is there when your spirit says yes. I am not removing your sensitivity. I am simply restoring it to its proper place so that it serves the truth rather than serving fear. Your new response begins with a pause, not a pause intended to punish someone, and not silence used as a weapon. It is the moment when you stop obeying your first reflex and ask what is truly happening, and what is merely the past being projected onto the present. When your chest tightens, do not immediately send an explanation. When someone takes longer to respond, do not instantly write the ending of the story. When an opportunity requires you to wait, do not automatically interpret the waiting as evidence that you have not been chosen. Breathe. Allow a night to pass when there is no genuine danger. Observe actions instead of trying to read thoughts. The truth does not need you to react within a few seconds in order to remain true. What belongs to you does not become yours, less merely because you take time to see clearly. The right door will not disappear because you refuse to rush through it in panic. Another kind of fear is standing nearby. The fear of hope. You once called it realism. You told yourself that if you expected nothing, you would not be disappointed. If you refused to name your desire, you would not be hurt when it did not arrive. And if you constantly prepared for the worst outcome, you would maintain control. But the truth is that you still suffered. You simply suffered before anything had actually happened. You paid the price for a loss that had not come. You turned peaceful days into waiting rooms for disaster. You rejected small joys because you feared they would make later sorrow feel greater. I understand why you did this. Hope once made you vulnerable. It once opened the door to dreams that others did not know how to protect. But hope was not what hurt you. Dishonesty, inconsistency, and promises without foundations were what hurt you. Do not condemn the light because someone once led you to a window and then walked away. I am not asking you to hope blindly. I am giving you a hope that has eyes, boundaries, and the ability to wait for evidence. You can open your heart one step at a time. You can experience joy while continuing to observe. You can receive a kind word without immediately surrendering every key. You can allow someone the opportunity to demonstrate change without erasing what happened. You can trust me without trusting every word spoken in the name of love. This is the distinction I want you to learn. Faith does not take away your discernment. Faith releases discernment from panic. It allows you to see something as it truly is, neither magnifying it into a miracle, nor reducing it to a danger, simply because you are unfamiliar with peace. As for your need for control, I know that it was not born from arrogance, as you have sometimes accused yourself of believing. It was born from seasons when no one told you what was happening. You had to guess. You had to prepare. You became the keeper of the roof, managing others' emotions while neglecting your own need for shelter. You learned to apologize preemptively and offer solutions. aiding your survival but sacrificing sleep and presence. The belief that everything would fall apart without your grip has taken a toll on you. Surrendering does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means returning it to its rightful owner. True safety is recognizing that you can stand firmly even amidst change, with wisdom and presence guiding you. Your worth should not depend on others' validation, nor should you feel compelled to over-explain or conform to expectations to gain approval. Observe situations or people that cause uncertainty, watching for consistency in their actions rather than being swayed by fleeting emotions. Growth in others will show through their respect for your boundaries, patience, and willingness to prove their intentions over time. When faced with opportunities, assess if they compromise your truth or rush your decision-making. The right path requires honesty and courage, not silence or manipulation. Prioritize clarity, discernment, and your own sense of worth independent of external validation. Near the end of this message, this channel runs purely on people who choose to support it through the link. Whatever you are able to leave, however small, genuinely helps this work continue. The link is pinned in the comments below. When fear compels you, it claims urgency. But remember, your opportunities do not hinge on pressure. Anticipate messages or signs in the days ahead, but do not rush in without discernment. Approach with peace, assess your circumstances, and evaluate the respect and consistency of responses. Healing involves reclaiming your autonomy, no longer allowing others' words to dictate your self-worth or decisions. You will know you have healed when past triggers hold no authority over your present. Your history should teach, not imprison you. Release the need to justify your worth to those who cannot see it, and stop allowing old mistakes to dictate your future. The clarity you possess now is enough. You have the key to close old doors that no longer serve you. This does not require grand gestures, just a simple, peaceful action of closure and preparation for new beginnings. Move forward without fear, knowing you are supported when confronting fears. Remember to approach each day with the understanding of your inherent worth, choosing each moment mindfully. Your progress is evident in how you navigate fear and emotion, and you can trust that you are not alone. Embrace the peace that accompanies recognizing your power to choose your path moving forward. If this message reached you at the right moment, like this video, subscribe so the next word finds you when you need it, and leave a comment below so someone else can see they are not walking through this alone. Go in peace.